Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Irresistible and I'm a manifestation and soul realignment coach. My channel is geared towards helping you become your highest potential so that you can create and live the extraordinary life that is your birthright. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about whether or not you need to be constantly in a positive place in order to manifest your desires. But before we get started, just a quick reminder that I offer both email and video coaching. If you need help in manifesting your desires, I can definitely help you. The information is all in the description below. And of course, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon in order to receive a notification anytime I upload a new video. So let's get started. So I got this question from one of my followers who was inquiring about coaching, and she was asking me that she sensed from my videos that my focus is about remaining always in a positive state. So I wanted to talk about this because this is actually a very important question, and I want to make sure that my message is clear in that regard. First of all, let's explain what we mean by positive, because I may be saying that you have to be in a positive place, but what do I mean by it? Anytime I'm talking about being in a positive state, if I've mentioned that, I tend to say more focus on what you want, focus on what you want. But let me clarify, if I ever say you need to be in a positive state, I mean focusing on what you want. Like not allowing your thoughts to go on their rampage of lack and focus on your current 3D, your undesired circumstances. So it's not about talking about it and perpetuating it and acknowledging what's going on in your 3D. So what I mean by staying in a positive state is by being focused in the direction of what you want, not giving importance to your undesired circumstances, and simply really just knowing that you can shift into your preferred reality. Like you can do that, and remaining in the faith that you can do that, and trusting the process, and being willing to believe that manifesting works. That is always what I mean by being in a positive state. So if I ever mention that, it's important you understand that. And I'm trying to be more careful in the words that I choose, because it may not always be interpreted correctly. Now, when it comes to emotions, because I spoke about emotions in another video, I will link it above. There's a difference between emotions and feelings. Emotions are a knee-jerk response to something you see in your 3D. So you might see something that is undesired. There is no way you can not emotionally react to that unless you've been super practiced and whatever, like you're really able to do that. But really, that can't be controlled. Like instinctively, you're going to feel things, right? That's what we call emotion. Like if a lion jumps right in front of you right now, you're gonna feel scared, right? If you see the love of your life with someone else, you're gonna instinctively respond and react to that emotionally. Like you're gonna feel something, right? It's not something that you can control. The thing is about what you do afterwards. So it's about trying to control what's going on mentally. It's not giving in to the 3D, if that makes sense. It's not going in and acknowledging that this is what's happening in your 3D. It's not about letting your thoughts go on their little rampage of this stuff does not work and I'm never going to get my desires. Although, honestly, like even if you have that moment, it's about where you are predominantly. So even if your thoughts spiral in that moment, it's about where you have been predominantly and staying in that predominant space. So it's about not camping out there. So realistically, you can't always be in complete control of your thoughts, right? But it's about being aware, bringing yourself into awareness. It's about redirecting yourself. It's about not giving into it, not camping out there, like staying there. So you kind of, yes, you may react emotionally. That can't be controlled. And then even if your thoughts spiral and these turn into negative feelings, The negative feelings are always indicating what's going on in your thoughts, your mental patterns. So if you're going on and you're there all the time, yeah, that's not helpful. But if you are reacting emotionally and getting upset and crying, but then you're redirecting your thoughts and saying, well, this is just temporary and I know I can change this and I know that I can redirect my attention and focus on what I want. And then you can also affirm. By the way, when you affirm, you automatically feel some relief, right? You're gonna feel it. But if you've been there like the whole day, it might be harder for you to actually mentally affirm. You can try it, you can always try. But even if you're not able to do that, tomorrow's a new day, right? But the thing is about not dwelling in that space, not dwelling in that negative mental space. Because of course, then the feelings do follow. The feelings are always signaling what's going on mentally, but it's not the emotional reaction. Again, I always want to emphasize the emotional reaction is instinctive. It then turns into feelings when your mental space stays there, right? So this is what I wanted to really bring up in this video. Like, realistically, we're going to sometimes experience emotional response, and that always can't be controlled. But it's not about giving in to the 3D mentally. You can't just acknowledge and remain aware and then go tell 10 friends, well, this is what happened, and you talk about it. That's where you should not go. That's where you should not go. But if you momentarily, or you respond emotionally, and then you momentarily stay in that space for like about 30-40 minutes, then that is perfectly okay. And even if you spend the day feeling bad, it's like, okay, that's one day out of predominantly where are you, right? So this is very important. Now, on the flip side, I want to also mention another thing. You do not need to be in a high-flying state. Like, that positive space is absolutely not that. And I've made that clear in many of my videos. In most of my videos, I say you can be in a place of content and hope. Like, hope that this is going to work out for you. You don't need to be in passion and joy and flying high, because actually that's a lot of the teaching of law of attraction, which is you have to be in vibrational alignment. They say that you need to be in the state of passion and joy. It's like you have to match the feeling you would have when you get your manifestation. But actually that would be probably the moment of getting your manifestation where you're in passion and joy, but then you kind of fizzle out and you go into more of a place of contentment and feeling fulfilled, and that's what it is. So it's not a high-flying feeling. So that part definitely you do not need to be experiencing, like feeling content, feeling hope, feeling just, expecting that things will be okay. And when you're affirming, by the way, mentally affirming, you're going to be in that space. You're going to feel the relief. Like you cannot be affirming and not feel some sort of relief, unless you're completely like you're new to manifesting and you're affirming and you're feeling silly in the moment. That's fine. That's normal if you're just starting out. But with time, you'll start to see that when you start seeing movement, you'll start feeling the relief that, when I affirm, I feel good. Also, being in a state of presence, which is something I discussed in another video, I will link it above. Being in a state of presence is being in the moment, not in your thoughts. And when you're not in your thoughts, there's an element of well-being. Like, you can't feel negative and be in presence. The negative feeling is coming from your mind. What's going on here? So even being in presence, which is what Eckhart Tolle talks about, the power of now, he actually, that's what his message is, to get into presence, so you're not thinking about your problems, right? Because then you're in worry and you're in fear and in anxiety. So it's a way to cope with the negative emotions. Coping with the negative emotions is being in presence, and also being in presence is a fantastic way for you to really just deal with whatever undesired circumstances are there, so that you're not in your head. I hope this video really clarifies what I mean by being in a positive state, It's about where your mental space is predominantly, and it's okay to dip every now and then. It's not about being there all the time. Like, it's impossible to be there all the time unless you are someone who's really, really practiced. And I have to tell you one thing, like when I was practiced in law of attraction many years ago, I was predominantly in a positive place. Like, I was always in that state of joy and happiness and passion, but I still didn't manifest. And I spoke about that in that video where I spoke about the difference between emotions and feelings. I was not manifesting that well because I did have inner assumptions that needed reprogramming. So it's not necessarily about being in that high flying place all the time, but it can be done. Will it get you the results? Not necessarily. It's about really also rewiring your subconscious mind. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please hit the thumbs up. This will help my message spread, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.